Welcome to session one of. Oh, everybody's in the wrong space. Welcome to session one of Alien Heart of Darkness. This is a narrative campaign, but it has been modified so that it is also a just campaign. Um, we spent session zero building the characters, and we will go through an introduction of everybody, but we're going to do so in a narrative beat. As discussed at the end of last session, as I move people around, your group has just exited cryosleep. You were down for 3 months. Leon, this is not your first rodeo. You have made this flight several times before, so you would be first one on deck and awake. And as mentioned, Gray would have passed over a tablet giving you information on the mission sortie. One thing that I didn't cover greatly in that prologue that I want to make sure that is very clear now is some of you may be aware of the fact that Erebos is a prison colony. Some of you are not aware of that. But in this data tablet, it does denote that that is the case. And it also will give you false identification that you are prisoner envoys or employees who are allowed to enter into this space without issue. So with that being said, Michael, if you would be so kind as just give us a kind of brief description of Leon and kind of narrative understanding of what he's doing when he first wakes up from cryo and kind of gets situated at the mess table.
Yep, so Leon is the officer. He has been one for a little while. Definitely kind of the seen some things type. He clearly does care when he's talking with people and going on these things, but is also very serious at the same time, taking everything, all the actual jobs very seriously. Can cut loose a little bit, but it's few and far between. Very minimalist style, utilitarian kind of suit, as opposed to trying to show off his bling and awards and achievements and all that, and very functional style like boots and gloves and stuff like that. Just kind of showing that he's there to do a job, not necessarily make a statement. He does carry one specific item that is a very nice combat knife that is very close to him. Doesn't usually use it, but keeps it on him at all times. It's more of a family thing that was passed down to him. You can see on his picture his looks overall, just very kind of like has seen some things, stressed out, all that kind of stuff. So, as far as when I first wake up, and you said we're going over to the mess hall to basically settle in.
Yeah,
After this
and
sleep.
receiving like that tablet and kind of getting the information breakdown from Bishop, not the robot, the real person, explaining why
Yep.
you're coming out here.
Okay, so I would come on out. Probably try to get. We have coffee on these types of things,
Oh
right?
hell yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would assume. Definitely gonna be getting nice black coffee. Nice big cup of it for sure. Not very worried about any kind of after effects of the sleep at this point. Just trying to get straight to work essentially. Whatever happens, happens, and we'll just sit down and start reading through the material and find out, listen in on what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, obviously the kind of getting ready time is sacred. Gray is the one who passed you the tablet, and then he immediately kind of turns away and goes back to the bridge of the ship. So you know things are under control. You have some time to kind of shake off the frost and kind of settle into being a person again. I would assume that Jimmy Joe would be next on the docket. You there, John?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and just give us a description of how Jimmy Joe wakes up and kind of makes his way to the mess hall. And what it looks like.
Well, he'd wake up, rub his eye, and would first probably go for a smoke somewhere. Kind of base descriptions: typical security, grizzled vet, fought rebellions, seen a lot of action. Pretty not fun. It's stoic, distant. Yeah.
So just as a heads up, this series, this IP Alien, was created during the latter portion of the 70s and kind of rolled through the 80s, early 90s. Smoking is allowed everywhere. You can smoke wherever you like. That is not an issue. And if anybody complains about it, they can look at the Wayland-Yutani Employee Manual, and there are places that they can go where smoking isn't present. It is exactly the opposite of the real world because corporations like selling you things that kill you.
He's also head security, so suck it.
Yeah, and would you kind of Leon was described as being in kind of just a very basic kind of pilot or officer's uniform, nothing kind of crazy. Would you kind of suit up and boot up in your gear?
Immediately.
Okay.
Instantly. Always wear his armor.
Yeah. Okay, and then
never fucks around.
We have the current kind of heads of the ship. So I want to explain too that the ship's function is to arrive at Erebos and allow the scientists to congregate with the scientists on Erebos for the project that's present there. So the ship definitely does have a lot of scientists and medical professionals due to the nature of the trip and also the nature of the study. And the leader of the medical team is Dr. Is it Evelyn or Evelyn?
Evelyn.
Evelyn Lockhart. And so, Lark, go ahead and give us a summary of what she does when she gets up and what she's doing.
So she wakes up, pot opens, and she goes about the absolutely regimented process of decrionization, following all of the prescribed stretches and checks that should be had that a lot of people like to skip. Then she would proceed to her quarters to freshen up before going and joining anybody for coffee. She is that intimidatingly kind of put together person. I believe I described her to John as like a cross between a Stepford wife and a librarian. So when she comes back, she's coming back with business attire. She's got nice pencil skirt and blouse, high heels, and a lab coat. Because she's going to be going to that lab as soon as she's had her coffee. Medical lab.
Now, another part of the medical team, although not technically a medical professional, is Dr. Lark. And I know that's going to be confusing because your name is Lark. So, Dr. Lark is a former hostage negotiation android that runs psychology doctorate subroutine in its processing. So, it is functionally a backup psychologist for the team. And is a synthetic. It's one of two synthetics that are amongst the crew. However, due to the nature of her synthetic processing, being a Hyperdyne Systems Model 770S synthetic, she was actually in cryo, whereas Gray was awake the whole time. Okay, moving on to the science team. Now, these are the official scientists who are here for the business. We'll start with the prodigy, and then we'll go to the leader. Kimmy, tell us about Verity.
Verity's very serious about her work. So whenever she gets out of cryo sleep, if she's just a very serious person in general, she's not going to stand around and laugh, and she probably doesn't understand jokes like everybody else. So when she wakes up from cryo sleep, she might do some stretches like Dr. Lockhart, because I'm sure before cryo sleep, there was like everyone was told when you wake up, you should do this. So she might do some of those and then head to the lab and start getting ready, getting her go bag ready for when they land.
Okay. And then the leader of the science team is Brent. Tell us about Reddit's Babbitt.
Raditz for sure wakes out of cryo sleep and kind of does one of those over the shoulder stretches. He would then go put on his tracksuit and would kind of jog around with lifting some weights before going to the cafeteria and getting like the biggest glass of ice water he could. And like the whole time, if you hear him, he is muttering like different things about different experiments that it's very incoherent to anybody that's not in his brain, but it's probably something if you've worked with him before, you're used to at this point.
And the other member of the science team is Sezha Drabakowski. Drabakowski is also a young scientist than certain individuals. And she's an astrophysicist. So the purposes of the two other scientists are a bit more in xenobiology and also what was the terminology? Hold on. I gotta try and sound smart here. Hold on. Xenoextremophiles, which, according to the data tab, which you'd be handed before you go on your jog, you'd be handed after you kind of get out of your shower and the like, or finish your stretches, what have you. You'd all basically get this tablet and earbud and be able to kind of listen into what he's saying. And we've already gone over that. But with that said, Sasha Drabakowski, she is, she's kind of a prodigy herself. She, is definitely someone who's kind of accelerated through process. She's a part of the Ministry of Space Security. She is technically a colonel doctor. She's 36, so she's a little older, I think, than Verity. But she, is very serious, a very serious individual as well. Okay. So everyone is out and about on the ship. I'm going to go ahead and move us to that ship, and this is a test of function. Does anybody see anything? Or is it all black?
I see the ship.
You see
Yep.
it? Okay.
Yep, I see the ship diagram.
That is very strange. Because I don't. That's so weird.
You
Hold on.
Scroll
You're the
down,
DMs now.
because it's like halfway down the page.
No, yeah, I'm at the very bottom of the page. I'm as zoomed out as it gets. It's just not on there for my secondary viewer for whatever reason. Dynamic lighting on. Do you still see it?
Nope.
That is so
No, now I don't.
weird.
Yep, it's gone.
Okay, save. Well,
Oh, now I
You can see it.
yep, no worries. As long as you can see it, I will make a way for the people at home to see it. But inside of the USCSS Saturhina model DG-23B Rorqual, it is a plasma harvester tanker trawler. Basically, the way that it moves through FTL is it takes in material as it moves, alternates it into plasma, and utilizes that to power its FTL drive. That's why it's got a big goofy front. And I will also... Oh, this is just great. Hold on. Why won't you just work? Here we go. I'll just do this for the people watching at home. There you go. That's what it looks like. You don't need to see the innards. So the bridge, obviously at the highest point, viewing position. Your location when it comes to where you wake, the rec area, etc., is on deck C, which is kind of the third deck down. Kind of covers a lot of the living space there. Engineering, forward intake monitoring stations, those are kind of handled by the ship mother. But forward intake monitoring station could be of interest to the astrophysicist or possibly other scientists. The inner and outer cargo control and handling deck is where, if anything is required to be taken back to the company or to, oh god, what's the name of the... I had this, and I dropped it. The Gehelgod Institute, which is what you scientists are a part of. Gehelgod Institute is a prestigious international research institution that focuses on higher scientific principles, a gathering of leading minds from all supernations. Gehelgod has a keen interest in both exolife and humanity's possible extraterrestrial origins. With that being said, too, the vehicle does have some armaments, a total of 2 orbital mine launchers with a total of 4 mines each. They're mainly used for defense. Basically, if the ship was being tailed or chased, those mines could be dropped and detonated. And then, of course, the internal modules as listed. For the officer, once you get done with everything, your first order of business would be going to the bridge. But since we have everyone kind of in the common area, I'm going to just open it up to you folks. Tell me what you want to do. If you want to have interactions with one another, if there's anything in particular you want to specifically sort out, then we can do that too.
I think Evelyn would probably be trying to assess people's mental state coming out of cryo. Just a quick once over for the entire team, like where your brain's at, because she is a neuropsychiatrist, so she connects the behavioral aspects with the physical aspects of the brain. So just making sure you woke up as whole as you went to sleep.
As everyone kind of accumulates into the room, I would just kind of put everything down that I have and just speak up, announcing to the team. Hope you all had a good sleep. Please make sure to bring it to our attention if you're feeling anything out of the ordinary. And yeah, let's just get on to work then.
Okay. If that's the case, then you'll be heading up to the bridge. Is anyone else wanting to head up to the bridge? Trubikowski will go that way as well. She's the astrophysicist. She also doubles as navigator for this specific instance.
Actually, before I go up to the bridge, I also would want to walk over and address Jimmy. Just kind of ask, hey Jimmy, have you done a surveillance around the ship to make sure everything's still good on the security front?
Muted if you're talking, Tom. We'll just assume Jimmy.
Yeah,
I
took a bit of a walk.
Appreciate the
Nothing
diligence as always.
to note.
Okay.
And then I'll head up.
As you head up, you did check the gear. Is that what you're saying? You made sure everything's all fit and ready to go, right, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you would know is that the Sedarhina, in the deck that I mentioned, deck B, does have a bit of cargo and kit that is helpful, but not like insanely crazy stuff. There are 4 P5000 power loaders in the cargo area. There are 4 Space Sub A SSO 400 harpoon grappling guns with 200 meters of line each. There's 3 Watatsumi DV303 bolt guns with 4 shots each. There are 4 electrical toolkits and med kits. There are 3 maintenance jacks and cutting torches with D3 power each. 8 rebreather masks with D3 air each. 6 Rexum RXF M5 EVA pistols with 1 reload apiece. And 6 Eco 2 all-world system survival suits with 6 air each. And I'm going to post that in the Discord in notification.
That was my next question.
Of
Nope,
course.
gotta remember it all. It's your job.
So I was frantically opening up Notepad.
Now, those are on the ship. Those are not on your person. If you take something from there moving forward, I will require that you post in response in the general what you are taking. I don't think you guys can post a notification. But yeah, you head up to the bridge. When you arrive, you are greeted with the view of the outside. You would see the Erebos at distance, backlit by what appears to be the accretion disk of a black hole, which is hardly visible. You can kind of see the dark in the midst of it, but it's not something that's very visually relevant. And what you would note as a spacefarer and kind of understanding of how bodies in space work, this black hole isn't like black holes that you are aware of. Most black holes are millions of years old and have been around since well before Weyland-Yutani existed. And this one, you are aware, has been here as long as you've been traveling out, but it hasn't been here that long before you started traveling out to the 26 Draconis system. The understanding is that one of the 3 stars in this system went nova and turned into this. Looking at the Erebos and looking at the black hole and looking at the accretion disk, do you have any questions about what you're looking at?
No.
You're not looking
No.
at it. This is from Michael.
No.
Nothing at all. Okay. Drabakowski would sit down.
Is that wait.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Is that shimmer that we see kind of traveling in towards the black hole? Is that the lights that they've been talking about that were?
No, that's a gravity distortion.
Okay.
It basically, the light that is kind of escaping at some points is kind of dilated in its motion. You were made aware that there would be negative effects in relation to the proximity to the hypergravitational pull and radiation outflux of 26 Draconis. And that's why there's so many psychological kind of psychiatric individuals on the ship, to mainly kind of account for possible negative effects due to proximity. Any other questions regarding, do you have anything that you want to kind of look at in particular on the deck, or any questions about what you're looking at in the bridge? And if you're not there, do you have any questions about what you're doing, or do you have anything that you want to be doing in the lead
I
up?
assume as a more prominent scientist, I would have my own lab, not one I share with them.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to be in my or head to my lab
Okay.
before we land and just double check some if I have pretty much all my lab supplies.
Sure.
And then also my signature item. I would like to have that on me at all times.
Okay. Done and done. So a real quick note on the gravitational effects regarding psyche and mental shifting. In this game, NDDs, or the terror of the edge of space, neurological distortion disorder, or disorders, are what NDDs will be referring to. In this game, when we get into it, you'll be making an NDD roll, and we will discuss what that means when we get to it. Right now, you're fine. NDDs are also known to occur when someone is exposed to faster than light space travel outside of cryosleep, which is why you and Lark are not allowed to be active. That's why they put people in cryosleep, because of the FTL travel will kind of cause mental psychosis and disorder therein. Okay.
I do have a question, John.
Yeah.
How far out, based on the picture, I'm seeing it, but how far out exactly are we
So
from like docking there?
you're far enough out. It's going to take you a good 30 minutes to get to there on sublight. You're able to see it very well. It's very crystal clear. Obviously, the backlighting and everything that's present there, and of course, you have function on your ship to allow you to magnify and kind of look at it more closely.
And are we lined up currently with the like whatever the docking procedure area would be?
Yeah, so you can definitely get closer and put out your umbilical to attach to the airlocks. Now, if you're looking at that as you're going, I believe we've got our first roll of the evening. We double check. Sure do. Observation.
Where is that at?
Should be on the right side in the middle, yeah. Okay. So you're looking at it and you're just kind of, you've been here before. You've never been on Erebos, but you've docked. It's been quite a while since that last time, like quite a while. But yeah, you've docked, and you're pretty sure it'll be fine. At this distance, you don't see anything that's too particularly noteworthy. Okay, so Leon, Captain Hart is on the bridge. Drabakowski is on the bridge. Is there anyone else? Oh, Gray is on the bridge. Is there anyone else up there, or are you still kind of doing your own things down below?
I'm probably still in the lab, just getting things together. And unless they tell us we were supposed to meet in the bridge.
I would say that there's a brief moment that you would see Dr. Babbitt, kind of, because scientists are doctors too, by the way, just not medical ones. But you'd see Dr. Babbitt kind of move past you and head towards his laboratory, which was installed specifically for him in the kind of Deck C. It's separate from kind of the regular science kind of area, which is a lot smaller. It seems like the bulk of it has been kind of made prepared for just him. But he'd walk past you as you're kind of preparing yourself, and he'd go into his secret lab.
Oh, then I would think we're supposed to be in the lab and not on the deck, so that's where I'd be.
Do you try to follow him in?
Oh no.
Okay. All right. Well, he'd pop out, with a case. Looks like he has like a, bag ready, a ready-go bag. And you've got yours set up. Once you guys are prepared, the scientists, how would you like to proceed?
Yeah, once I'm prepared, I kind of just go back to the deck, and I assume there's like chairs around there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably just sit in the one where I could see pretty well, but where I can see everything, not just the farthest back one, I guess would be the way to put it. So I can see like everybody in front of me, and the only thing behind me is like maybe the wall and the door.
Got it. And Dr. Keist, you would go up as well to the bridge, or would you remain?
So if I see the good doctor walk by me, I'd be like, "Oh, are we supposed to report to the bridge?"
I'm prepared, so I assume we should be docking any minute. So if you're ready, you can report up there. If not,
yes.
take all the time you need to get ready.
Oh, no, I'm ready. And I'll follow him to the bridge.
Okay. You arrive. Very immediately upon entering in, Raditz kind of steps to the side, sits into a chair that's basically like, it's functionally a chair, but it's mostly for like emergency, like crash situations. He sits on the little kind of flap down, but doesn't pull the the straps and lock himself in, which would be normally appropriate for that kind of seating. And again, looking out, the deck has a very kind of open glass function to it. You can see what's on screen, the Erebos station, backlit by the accretion disk around the black hole. Leon, you are starting docking procedures and starting to move in that direction through sublight.
Yep, I was about to say I was going to turn and address everyone that we are several minutes from docking currently, and I'm engaging the procedures, so I will need silence on my part, please.
Okay. So Kimmy and Brent, if you two would like to go ahead and make observation rolls as well. Okay. Okay. So both of you would kind of look out and kind of being, observant, and, trying to see things that are kind of possibly wrong or off about it. Erebos Station is about 1 kilometer tall with a number of decks in between, connected to the spindle or spire of the station. And it has its own orbital rotation, allowing for kind of an internal centrifugal kind of gravity. That said, it does look like there's a wobble, which shouldn't be present, but it's very hard to notice. But the thing that you notice more is that there appears to be damage across the whole of the Erebos. It almost looks like it was under some form of attack, or perhaps it was struck with asteroids or debris.
One of them was
Yeah. Once I noticed that, I holler from the back. Cap, there seems to be like an issue with the Erebos station. It definitely looks like it's probably damaged. We might want to be suited before we leave the ship.
I just kind of turn back, kind of visibly a little bit annoyed, and then kind of look back out at the Erebos and kind of squint a little bit to see.
Go ahead and make a pilot roll. Leon.
Yep.
So there's this moment where you realize that you're being yelled at, and you kind of turn over, you kind of look over your shoulder, annoyed, listen to what he says, and like that's there, right? The words he said definitely sit in your brain, but also the "I just told you not to talk," and he totally ignored that, which is absolutely just maddening, right? And if memory serves, you're not a huge fan of the scientist anyway.
Exactly.
So you kind of give him like just a cold stare, and for your perspective, Raditz, when he's turning his head back, you are seeing a scree of meteors shooting past the front of the ship, and you can hear the tinkling of what sounds like bits of like dirt and debris hitting against the side of the ship. Leon, you realize this well before the scientist, and you maneuver the ship expertly and start trying to pilot it to get it closer to Erebos and avoid what appears to be a very massive meteor shower. Despite your best efforts, you feel that the massive craft is struck in a number of points along the side of the ship. And you're pretty sure that it is damaged. Not irrevocably so, but damaged. You look down at the monitors, you can see red blinking lights. You're paying attention to everything. It does appear that whatever struck the ship struck in just the right point at the front, at the trawler point, to cause the batteries to deplete automatically. So sublight will be minimal, and you'll need to recharge those batteries before FTL is possible again. Second, It looks as though the damage in question has caused a bit of a maneuvering issue, and you feel that you are limited in your choices as to what you're going to do next. But you have a choice. Had you failed that check, you would have none. So let me explain what that means. 1 second here. So, you can orbit the station and keep distance, and then spacewalk to it instead of connecting to the station if you want to gain access to it. Or, at this point, you can try and get close and extend your umbilical to one of its many docking ports. These are your current 2 options. Based
When
on
you're saying orbit, I can actually like continuously orbit even after we spacewalk off.
Yeah, the ship will maintain lock, and Gray will keep maintenance on the I forget what it's called when you're in orbit. That thing. Not just in orbit. There's like a specific like pattern for what an orbit's called, and my brain's not working.
I want to put us into the orbit plan.
Okay.
And while that's also going on, I'm going to call out to everyone on the bridge. We've taken damage to the batteries with these asteroids, meteor, called in space. We've taken damage to the batteries. We're going to be sublight only for now until we get that fixed, by the way.
And you're going to maintain orbit instead of trying to approach. Okay. Got it. In that moment, once you kind of lock into orbit, more meteors do strike out at the ship, causing more issues for it. But you would notice that the stabilizing thrusters on Erebos, they appear to be steadying when you get into proximity. As if someone on the opposite side did something to do that, or an automated corporation kind of situation was kind of allowing for it. You then realize, much to your horror, that the reason why the Erebos was stabilizing and its thrusters were kind of firing is because your ship and it were both locked in the same gravity anomaly, a gravity shear, which causes your ship to careen farther out than you wanted it to, closer to the black hole in question. Everybody gain a point of stress. Now, with that stress, I'm going to give you 2 options, Michael. You can keep the piloting roll that you've already rolled with a single success, but you will gain another point of stress. Or you can re-roll the piloting roll to try and maintain the position that you've held. Your options are thus.
And can you re-explain what pushing is in the game? I get a stress in order to...
So first you roll, and if you fail, you click push, and then you'll gain a stress, and it rolls again. So if you fail, you push. You can decide after.
But you can't push, since you have panic. If you roll a panic roll, you can't push on a panic.
Well, there's no panic roll happening here. You can, yeah, if you roll a panic. Did he roll already?
No, he didn't.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying he has a stress point, so if he rolls a panic...
Then you're stuck with that one. You can't push if you panic. That is correct. Again, you can just add 1 to your stress level and just lock in and just like, and like get really mad at Raditz and like focus the ship to where you need it to go.
Yeah, I was going to go for the second roll, but remembering what panic is, I don't want to risk that, so I'm gonna lock in.
Okay.
Go to 2.
In the pull, you realize that the full blast of the sublight is going to be required in this moment to get you to pull out of the shear that you've been caught in. And so you lock in and you go for it. Everyone else, the ship is shaking. You can hear the pattering of the meteor still cracking against the ship. There's definitely some sounds that are not supposed to be made. And hold on, I had this. This is great. The obvious sirens are kind of blaring in the background as the ship is kind of in a panic situation. Oh, so cool. Anyways, I have very cheap tricks, and I'm not the greatest at sound. Anyway, on pushing the ship this way, you realize that the only way you're going to be able to stay out of the shear is by colliding with Erebos. You realize in this minute at most that there are 3 points of contact which would be beneficial and not detrimental to you and the station. Because obviously crashing into a space station is not like the greatest plan, but again, locking onto it in this way is the panic situation best bet. So, because you succeeded, you will choose and it will not be randomly assigned to you. You have 3 options. There's the supplies and quarters section of the ship. There's the port side cell block. And then there's the trawling arm. One of the several trawling arms. The first one of these. The choice is yours.
When you're saying cell block, you mean like holding people that have committed crimes?
That's right. This is a prison, correct?
Oh yeah, okay. Then yes, I'm gonna choose that.
You're going for the cell block.
Yep.
Okay. So you crash into this space. You have let me pull you onto a map. Hold on real quick. This is deck F.
And in my mind, while this is going on, I'm just thinking to myself, criminals are expendable.
Jesus Christ.
I'm efficiency minded.
Yeah, no, sure. Having issues with the viewer, hold on. And for the love of God, come on, roll 20, please. Okay, trying to make it work. It's being very difficult. I even play tested this before, and now it's all black. Let's see if I can't fix it. Yay.
There you go.
Deck F. Here. And you will be crashing. Bear with me here. And oh, there went the sound. But why though? We're having fun, folks. You'll be crashing against the cell blocks, specifically junction. I think it's F6. Should be on the far left side there. Double checking my notes. Junction F8, sorry, other side. Yeah, over here. Okay, so upon crashing, the ship is stuck against the side of the station. It's kind of locked there. You realize you now have a new problem that needs to be added to the list of problems that the ship is required to fix before you can deal with it. So the batteries is one. The damage to the trawler, intake, obviously. And then the second is you're going to require very industrial strength power tools to remove the ship from the side of the space station. According to what you're noting on your side, there are no hull breaches on either your ship or the Erebos, so far as you can detect. You have 2 more options, and again, the party should be advised as to what the options are. You can attach umbilical to Erebos and enter in tethered, or in your current locked position, you can spacewalk.
For this one, I'm going to kind of, now that we're more settled, I want to turn to the rest of everyone and kind of call out the options that we have, just giving everyone an idea of what's going on. Get an idea of what everyone else is feeling.
In response, Drabakowski is going to turn off the alarm siren.
Well, I think umbilical might be best because, you know, we kind of got pulled here. Who's to say when we're spacewalking we won't get pulled away?
I think we want to make sure everything's attached.
Not to say an umbilical can't rip, you know, it's happened plenty of times before, but
But it's more likely to stay harnessed, right?
Not do the same trick twice. A note on spacewalking, just as a heads up. I did notate the gear that you have, and if you take a look at it, I just want to make sure your options are well known. There are 4 space sub ASSO 400 harpoon grappling guns. You can launch those at your target, pull yourself in space. Gravity's not going to winch those lines.
Can I see, is there like still a bunch of the meteors kind of moving around us, like close to the ship, or are we kind of out of that?
Not so much. Yeah, it definitely looks like it was obviously closer to the accretion disk and farther out where you kind of started or kind of connected with your orbit.
And based on where we'd have to do the spacewalk from, do I know, I having a good idea of how far that's going to be from ship to station?
Yeah, probably like 100 meters. Not terribly far. The umbilical can be put out that way. It'll just require a roll to see if you can properly connect it. Otherwise, you're gonna have to send someone out there to kind of like manually grab the mouth end of it and latch it on.
I'm gonna say we're gonna go ahead and go with the umbilical to start with. If we have to spacewalk after the fact, we can take equipment with us.
Okay, great. So you're going to either yourself or designate someone else to use heavy machinery, or actually this would be Comtech.
Shoot.
Drabakowski would volunteer.
I have a 3 in Comtech.
She'll pass the
I'd volunteer.
You're volunteer. Okay. Go ahead and go for it.
Okay. Yeah, luckily we had stress. So that'll be a success. And basically, you sit down. Verity sits down at the console, brings up the kind of monitor, it's like a camera setup on the exterior of the ship and on the kind of far side of the umbilical. And then she is remotely extending it and slowly curving it at its end to make sure that it tethers neatly. So a visual, like, understanding of where we're at, the ship is basically buttressed against the side of the ring of the space station, kind of slammed against the top of it, and then basically from the bottom out came the umbilical and then kind of turned sideways and connected with the top of the ring. Once you've connected to it, Verity, do you have any questions that you would want to ask, or is there anything you'd want to do once you've physically connected with the space station?
I feel like I should, but I got nothing right now. I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay, so then yielding to the rest of the crew.
good job, kid. I'm teaching you right.
Pulls a beer out of nowhere. Yeah, it's like.
Are you drinking on the job?
Might have a change of heart, or might be a
Just
fucking
like-
prude.
Just like my old mentor in the science labs at UT. He had a beer for every occasion, and I'm not joking.
It's epic.
Dr. Ed Nyer was a legend.
Yeah.
I'm saying, you're playing a science person perfectly.
Yeah, if we're for sure going through there, I would still like to wear the suit, the survival suit.
Okay, so you're going to go down to the loading bay and get one of the Eco 2s?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to recommend it to everyone else as well that needs to breathe, just in case something happens and the umbilical disconnects or something while we're on our way there. I will also recommend one of us at least grab a harpooning gun.
Yes, Raditz, that's what I said when I said let's bring the equipment in case. Everyone get your suits, and we still have the harpoon grappling guns. We have 4 of them, so let's grab those too.
I'm gonna have a hard time remembering the rival shit because I was like, God damn, he hates. Oh no, he has to.
I can always pack a few extra med kits and maybe some of these rebreathers, just in case we have any issues with our equipment.
That ain't a bad idea.
Please do.
Drabakowski will say, "I'll just take a rebreather. I don't think a full suit's needed."
We are going to take the full suits.
There's only
I'm
6.
just going.
Well, I think
Oh,
Well, I guess
pardon
Lark
my
doesn't
friend,
need one.
the living are gonna take the suits.
6
Mark.
or 6 real people, right? And then 2 synths.
Lark kind of Grace. You know, Gray is not leaving the ship. Gray is absolutely useless out there.
Okay.
Yeah, Gray is basically just going to be.
I wouldn't say useless.
He's a bishop type android. He would basically
Yeah.
just be there for talking and moral support, which that's what Lark's better at. So
Hey, I'm getting stressed, man. I might need that.
yeah. If you're gathering up your gear to make sure you kind of have an understanding of what's going on, Verity, as you're kind of like letting everybody go and kind of just not sure what to look for, but definitely kind of just keeping an eye on the screen before kind of detaching and going with what everybody else is doing. You notice on the monitor that there appears to be an advisory alert, and you kind of check it. And what you would notice is that there appears to be a notation that there is a fire on the portside cell block. It appears to be an intensity 12 fire.
Is that the side we're on?
Yeah, that would definitely be the side you're on.
Okay, then I would tell that to the captain.
Okay, do we have any fire suppression that we can take?
You have what you have.
I'm asking, but just thematically. But yeah, we do.
I was waiting for someone else to answer, but we weren't getting it, so
Same.
I was making sure they understood it wasn't me. I'm not the guy.
I mean, I'm sure they probably got enough for us to make something, put the fire out, if not having something already ready.
I mean,
Okay.
I know it's not on our list, but there's gotta be fire stations like at every junction, right?
One would hope.
There should be. We don't know the extent of the damage.
Since we are going into a prison cell, I would also like to have one of the pistols.
I am gonna be going to grab my own personal pistol that I have in my equipment. As part of getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Joe's still is also on the bridge with us, right? Was everyone on the bridge or?
That's up to Sean.
Okay. I'm gonna be Jimmy, can you grab one of the toolkits, at least one of the electric toolkits? We should have 4 still, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't see why not.
Stop rolling over on the keyboard, cat. I'm serious.
Has everyone gotten what they needed?
Yes,
Last
ready to
call.
go.
I believe so.
Okay.
Well, let's move along.
All right. Gray will mention I'll keep comms open. Just let me know if anything is required of me outside. Obviously, I don't think there's much that I can do, but I'll be here, and I'll let you know if anything changes on our side. I only see that 2 people have taken Eco All-World Systems survival suits.
Trying to find it.
You can just copy it in the general and put it down in the general post as your own. I just want to make sure that you are very clearly noting that you're taking stuff. It's super important.
Yep.
But you are
And if
all
anyone,
in comp suits. Is that fair?
Yeah.
if anyone else wants to take more of the harpoon grappling guns, that's what I was getting at when I said let's grab those 2. But I'm not going to personally take one because I'll look out for everyone else first
Okay.
on the off chance something goes wrong. If you don't take one, don't take. Grappling gun.
You took all of the rebreathers?
That's awesome.
No, I took all but 2 of them.
Oh, okay. Do you order Drabakowski to enter into a comp suit or no?
At this point, no.
Okay.
What's that droid?
She is not. No.
Oh. Okay.
All right. So if that's the case, you enter into the umbilical. Upon entering into it, you'll notice that the temperature, according to your comp suit's HUD, appears to be upwards of 55 Celsius. You would notice very early into the situation that Drabakowski is sweating as you move through the umbilical, and she appears to be struggling a bit. I'll go
Hey,
ahead,
we
go ahead and make a stamina roll for her.
they need to go back. They're gonna die.
I never said that. It's true. She does appear to be kind of crashing out a bit, though.
131 degrees.
She's not going to be able to perform any hard work during the process here. She is very much kind of just, yeah.
While seeing this, I'm going to, at that point, order her to head back and grab one of the suits.
Okay, she'll head back. She'll be catching up with you. If you remain in the umbilical, I mean, while you wait, you can, but it's going to take her a while to get suited up. Do you wish to proceed without her, or do you wish to wait for her?
We should probably wait.
Oh, sorry, is the compendium not working?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm so sorry. That's my fault.
You're good.
I had to switch it off so Josh's friend could build a character in the staging area. I forgot to turn it back on. That's on me.
We should wait back in the beginning of the umbilical cord.
You pull back to the original point of the umbilical. So about an hour later, I would say with the wasted time of transferring into the umbilical, her sweating it out, you realizing it's a problem, pulling back, her suiting up, traveling back out, you would notice that's the case. I would like for the 2 scientists to go ahead and make observation rolls. Okay. So both of you rolled with an additional success, and so what that means is you have a stunt regarding the roll. Basically, you have an additional point of success. What that can mean is, and when it comes to, we already discussed what it means for combat. What it means for like observation rolls is that anything that has to do with the subject matter that we're about to discuss due to the success, you can just say, anytime I'm going to try and make you make an observation roll regarding that again, you just automatically succeed. That's one option. Or you can basically learn the source of the problem rather than just the nature of the problem. What would you like to do, Brent?
I'm going to take. Actually, I'd like to learn the source of the problem.
Sure. So the fires are the source of the problem for certain. It does appear that they are throughout the cell blocks. It seems that is a plasma intake fire. And you're pretty certain that you'll need to move through the cell blocks pretty quickly and try and make it to a more internal point of the station to avoid the temperatures, if that's your goal. And then what about you, Kimmy? Do you wish to... I mean, the source is already known. You want to know anytime I try to make you make a roll about it, you just succeed?
Yes, please.
Awesome. You are an expert on this fire. Okay, so you travel and enter in. I'm going to go ahead and use Leon as the kind of point of reference. If you split off from Leon, then we'll discuss. But this is where you'll be entering into the space. And bear with me here while I do a thing. I'm trying to do a thing. It's not working. I'm really annoyed. Okay, cool. So, correction modules. Deck F. We are currently in junction F8. And from what you can tell, the space in here looks like it has a number of cells that move through the area. Looks like they kind of continuously go through all the way to the end of the terminal. And it looks like in junction F9, or... Gosh, these are so hard to read. 5 and 7, and 6 and 8. Okay, so 6. Junction 6 appears to be kind of up ahead. You are docked in F8, and the junction in question, I believe, also goes down. Or is it up? Checking, sorry. Up. But I believe that has been sealed due to the fire. So yeah, just down at this point. And let's see. I apologize, you guys. I would say you're able to pull up kind of a basic display of the cell blocks in the correction area, correction modules, on your own kind of terminals or devices. But yeah, there we go. You would hear kind of loud, kind of, metallic sounds crashing. And then you would notice that there are bars, cells nearby. And it does appear that there are remnants of what appears to be fire through this space. Where would you like to go? And if anything I described was not described satisfactory, and you wanted to focus on it, just bring it back, and I'll give it another crack.
Where exactly was the fire? The main fire that we were looking at?
You do not have a source of the fire
Oh,
that's visible, but the source of the fire, as you understand it, is kind of the plasma vent, which would be on the north side.
then I would say we'd start heading towards the heading towards where we believe it to be to get that under control.
Okay. Does anybody have any ideas that might help with the fire? Because there is a reasonable kind of heat present in the space you're in. Not technically a fire, but definitely the sense of a plasma fire is present here. It's not like a raging torrent of flame. It's more like a direct heat. Does anybody have any other ideas that might work?
You're saying there's like a direct heat. Are there any panels nearby that, like computer panel nearby on the wall anywhere?
The only thing you would have is the one that's connected to the umbilical that you are connected to. The understanding that you have is that you are pressurized. So the reason why it was hot in the umbilical is because your ship is now sharing atmo with the ship or with the station. But once the doors close, it kind of regulates back to not being the case. And now you're kind of inside of just the environment of the cell blocks, specifically this section of it. I'm trying to give
Okay.
you. I'm trying to give you an understanding of what I'm trying to tell you without just blatantly telling you.
Okay, my thought process is I want to patch into the ship and see why. Like, is this just how they have the temperature set over here? Or,
No, so we already have the source of the fire. The source of the fire is the vents. Basically, the vents are not active, and so the plasma intake is causing this space to kind of emulate effectively.
okay.
Are the cells are the cells sealed off on their own? Like, do they have their own like sealing doors?
So they do appear to have doors that can be activated individually or all at the same time. However, that's not done here. Your presumption is that would be done in the
My
corrections
question is,
office.
if we cut off air supply to this area, to this hallway that we're in, to
Oh, they're just
like if we were to
bars.
vent.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
prison. Like it's like if you vented
Okay.
the people, if there
So
are
we
people
can't just
inside,
depressurize it by disconnecting the umbilical and like letting it just the fire just go away.
you could. You're in air
We
suits.
could, but ethically, I do not recommend that. But it is something that would have corrected the fire.
Okay. Well, if you want to check the cells you're near, because you are near a few of them, do you wish to check that, or
Are they? Yeah, are they? Do they seem to be inhabited?
They do, but they're inhabited with corpses. What you would notice is that there appear to be kind of charred remnants of prisoners. It looks like their tattered orange jumpsuits have kind of been left as nothing more than kind of smoldering bits about them. And the fire sounds that you've been hearing are literally their bodies still kind of just smoldering with like a light fire.
Oh, then yeah. If we want to put out a fire pretty quickly, we can try to just depressurize this area, which shouldn't affect us because we're all wearing suits.
But we do have the other person showing up. The other person.
Oh, she's with you. She already came.
Oh,
okay. They went back
Yeah,
and
she got
waited
suited.
for her.
Then there's no issue.
Now, the main issue is if you do decompress with the umbilical will basically pop off like a helium balloon, not held tightly enough to a helium container. So it's probably not smart to decomp here.
Or we could run to Junction F1, go down.
Yeah.
decomp there.
Okay, so you're gonna make your way that way then.
Let's do it.
That's up to
Yeah,
the
I
officer.
think so. Yeah.
Okay. On the way there,
yeah.
you start
Probably
hearing screaming. It seems to be up ahead towards that direction, and as you're kind of moving through the space, the lights are all off. It seems like power is kind of down here, and your flashlights are kind of maneuvering through the space. Every so often, you kind of get an orange or yellowish glow from the prison cells because there's a body inside that's on fire. But up ahead, you would see it looks like there are two individuals being kind of bullied on by what look to be 6 corrections androids, and they're throwing the 2 people down onto the ground and then beating them and pushing them along, and they're screaming, and you can see that bits of their clothing kind of smokes and is burning.
That's not our problem.
They are in your way.
That's our problem.
The
I'm gonna
corrections androids, if anybody's familiar with the game Alien Isolation, they are very much not humanoid replicants. They don't look like people. They kind of look people-esque. Uncanny Valley, I believe, would be a terminology that perfectly describes them. Yeah.
And as a security officer, am I able to tell them orders? Or are they...
Order of operations would tell you that that's not something you'd be able to do. You're not their boss yet.
Fuck.
I'm gonna kind of step forward. We're kind of close to them, right? Or are we really far away?
You're as close or far away as you want to be.
I'll be behind the officer if he goes ahead.
And by the point you're kind of coming up with a strategy, you would see one of them get chucked into a cell, and the android in question seems to have a small device that they press something on, and the door slams shut.
I think we need to stand back and kind of observe what's going on with these, because everything's wrong here.
How much time do we have? I'm not at John, more at the officer. We can't wait. We need to get down.
I mean, a few moments at least. See where they're going, what they're doing. If not, I can step up.
I mean, it looks like they're locking the prisoners back in cells so they can burn to death.
Doesn't seem fair.
Which I have no
Yeah, I
issue
guess
with.
we
We can get past them while they're doing that.
Yeah, I
but-
mean,
Well, again, stealth is going to be very difficult. You're in spacesuits.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and step forward, and I'm gonna give a deep sigh, then step forward and yell out to them. This is Leon Hart, officer of the U.S. CSS Saturina. Stand down now.
They all stop except for one who's still manhandling the other guy. And at this point, you can see that the manhandling is more or less just kind of flopping around the slowly rigidifying corpse of a man. And for whatever reason, they focus on the task, the one that's got him, and just chuck him in like a sack of potatoes. The guy or the android that has the weird device doesn't do anything with it, is paying attention to you. And then he specifically starts walking towards you, raises up the device, and a bright series of red laser lines start moving across your frame. This is a scan.
I repeat, I said stand down.
It tilts its head to the side and kind of looks at you and says, "You are not in your cell. Return to your cell now or be escorted there." Out of character.
I'm not returning nowhere, and I
We all got
Go for the
given
pistol.
arms.
Go for the pistol, but out of character, remember, you did get given prisoner IDs. some Some fun there. Okay, so there's no such thing as initiative. You go for your pistol. Are you immediately going to Western mode and going for a shoot?
Not so much shooting, just making sure that I have it, basically.
Okay.
If they're not being like aggressive yet.
Yeah, it very much looks like that's going to be the next step. So while that's happening, anybody else have anything they want to interject? We're technically in a combat, but this game doesn't work like that. It just kind of is.
I'm whipping out the 12 gauge.
Okay. Do you want to take?
There's no reason not to.
Do you want to take a shot?
Sure.
Go for it.
How many of them were there
6
again?
And you're
Are
shooting
we
the one with
briefed
the.
where we should be?
You're shooting the one with the handheld device.
I guess I already started, so yeah.
All right. Let's see it. Okay. That's a success. Do you want to push to try and get more successes, or are you good with that one?
I'm not seeing the roll.
Does it auto? What?
I don't see
That's
the
not-
roll. That's all.
Yeah, it's not popping up for me either.
Looks like you're rolling to GM only.
Oh, it shouldn't. Why is it doing that?
I don't know, because you're a silly Billy.
I don't think it's
You're
me.
too used to being an android and having secret android talks with John.
That sounds right. Yeah. Maybe he's an android now. Even though I did just I did just tell him.
He's been having secret android talks with John this whole
No.
time and just forgot to switch off.
Well, here you go. This is the determiner. I just asked John if he wants to push. If he says no, he could secretly be an asshole. But if he says yes, just like last night when I told him, "Do you want to push?" and he would say no, shit was hilarious. Nobody caught on. But if he says no now, then we know. You know what I mean?
Fuck,
you
I'll
guys?
push, whatever.
Okay. Oh, he can't be an android.
YOLO.
He's pushing you guys.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, it's still one success, but no immediate craziness. It should only be stress level 2 for you, so I don't know why it went to 3, but that's fine. So that hits. You pull the shotgun up and kind of move up next to Leon and just pull the trigger. Smashes across the floor, hits it in the legs. It kind of dips down a bit, but you see that it's like unnatural form kind of snaps back up. And then presses its finger down on the thing it's holding, and you'd see all the other ones who were just kind of standing there, not doing anything. They hadn't been issued commands, it seems. Turn and look in your direction.
We need to take care of that one.
Leon, you had your hand on your pistol, and then anybody else can interject. There's no initiative here. It's just if you haven't taken action yet, we're gonna get you to do something.
At this point, I'm immediately going up and shooting.
Girl.
Okay.
Is there an open cell near us, like empty cell?
No, all the cells are currently closed. There are some areas where you can kind of like get cover, though, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I was looking for a cell to maybe make them think I'm not with them. I'm in my cell. But-
As you stand there, it's, yeah. Just in a spacesuit, it's chill.
But yeah, I'll take cover if possible.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
if you cover something,
Yeah,
good
go ahead and
idea.
make a ranged combat roll, Leon.
Oh wait, range combat, or can I just roll for the actual gun itself? There's like a
Is there a gun roll?
under
No, you have to do
weapons,
range.
like a
Yeah, I
die.
think
If
it's
you're range
ranged
combat,
combat.
then it
Oh.
does whatever damage your gun does.
Oh, gotcha.
Like mine's 3, and my service pistol's 1.
Yeah, I'm
I
aware.
just saw the symbol next to the
I know you are.
I've been shot with a shotgun before. Holy shit. Okay, so
God damn.
your pistol, if I remember correctly, does 2 points of damage. The service pistol, if memory serves correctly. You can just say that each one of those additional successes is an additional damage multiplier. So basically, that would be if the service pistol is 2 damages, if memory serves, that would be a total of 8 damage if you want to do it.
Wait, sorry, repeat that. I was trying to look up the pistol real quick, and
Sure.
I have access to that.
I'll get the service. Did it not? It didn't save? It didn't. You guys don't have sharing? God damn it. Hold on.
We still don't have access to the compendium.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I was
retry
gonna
it.
really quick check, but
We're having
I
fun.
didn't catch
We're
what
having
you
a fun
said.
night. Some hiccups. Some hiccups.
It's been a blast. Literally.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I'm loving this.
A shotgun blast.
It should be
A
good
Baja Blast
now
from
if you
Baja
hit a
Blast.
refresh. Compendium sharing should be good. Please check for me and make sure that that's the case.
About that. This was a bad brew.
Does it say that?
You do not have
Yeah.
access.
Yep.
One second.
I think he's lying to us. He's just being like, yeah.
He wants us to suffer.
Gaslighting
He's adding stress.
seems to be the theme of the game. Okay,
Oh.
He's adding stress.
refresh it again.
He's adding stress.
I'm adding stress to me. I should be hitting every fucking roll.
Okay, yeah, it's good.
Okay, great, V.
Yeah, now we can.
Cool. Wait, are you lying to me?
Yes.
Are we?
I can't
Push
trust
and
that.
find out.
Push it real good. Okay, so pistols 2, right?
It is.
Is it the first
And
number
one.
that's the damage or the second number?
What does it say? Now it's saying I have a bad brew. What the fuck?
Fuck, John.
It's just saying 1 damage on what I'm seeing.
Saying 1 damage.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, it is 1 damage.
Okay.
+1 bonus. What is the bonus?
Plus
Plus 1 bonus is
No,
to you roll an additional dice when you're attacking.
Oh, gotcha. Should I go ahead and do that?
You can, but
Get another shot.
just roll a d6.
Well, no, I
guess.
think it adds it already, I think.
Oh yeah. No, it doesn't. But it doesn't matter. If you want to roll it, you can. If it's a 6, we add another point. But so far, we currently have 4.
It is 1 damage, and
We have
the
4
bonus
points
is
of damage.
+2.
Now the thing is there are options when you roll additional successes. So with a success, the thing is supposed to do upon the request happens. So you, for 1 success, pulled the gun out and shot it, and it's going to do the damage of the gun. When you get stunts, you can say that each additional dice does the damage once over again, so that could be a total of 4 damage. Or you could say one of those stunts does something that's kind of an exorbitant effect that helps you in later motions. Or if you want to do something that's crazy cool and like something that's not normally the purview of the gun, like shooting a specific thing that's not kind of combat related, that's an object or something like that. That's something you could do. There are
Break the
options.
clicker. Break the clicker. Break the clicker.
That's literally what I was about to say. Is can I shoot the actual device he has?
Well, yeah, and that would take one of your pushes, so you could do 3 damage to him and shoot the clicker. That what you want to do?
I'm gonna do that. I'm just basically
Yeah,
shooting
you
straight
kind of-
through it with his hand up and right into his head.
You kind of whip that pistol out like a gunslinger as he says, you got to shoot that one. And then you kind of drop to a knee as you're kind of moving forward, pull the trigger so it shoots into the device he's holding, straight through it and into his face. And you watch his head kind of explode in a gout of kind of like white fluid. And the device in his hand kind of falls to the side. All of the androids behind him just stop.
Good call, Jimmy Joe.
Yep, that's why I'm here.
Where's Raditz? Ah, he's hiding.
Yeah, big old spacesuit just kind of lurks out of this.
You did shoot him so that he doesn't have the clicker anymore, right? Oh, yeah, okay, good.
That's what I was
Yep,
going to do.
we took care of it. Don't worry.
That's what I would have done. That's what I always say.
That's what I thought.
Raditz is the first real Brent character. Do you advance up?
Yeah.
I'd say we should go ahead and start advancing.
Okay, you get to junction F1, and as you were wanting to, this does appear to be a point that you could pop open and depressurize this section of the cell blocks. Is that the plan?
Let's do it.
When we're going by, so when he shot the clicker, he like broke it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or did okay? I was just making sure. I heard it, but I wanted to make sure that it actually broke it.
Yeah, destroyed.
Okay.
Jimmy Joe just pushes over and Andrew just says, "Let me."
Okay.
I would like to brace myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Your device
Oh, yeah.
or your suits that you're in have magnetic feet because it's like an Evo
Awesome.
suit. So you just
Yeah.
kind of switch those bad boys on, funk, and then
I,
click.
Yeah. I'm
Whoosh.
gonna grab on some bars.
Those who are close to the bars, you would see the bodies inside of them kind of slam up against the bars as everything's being drawn out, and some of them would like hit with such ferocity that parts of them would come out, and there's just like baked prisoner kind of flying out into space now. But eventually, the temperature, according to your HUD, drops substantially, and it seems that the fire in this space is cleared. If you wish to leave the airlock open, the fire cannot remain here. If you close the airlock, if the fire is able to spread, again, it will just kind of reacclimate itself into this space. Your call, though.
Probably leave it the way it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
Once pressure kind of normalizes to zero or to a vacuum, gravity is still present in the station because it's still cycling. There's just no air, and so you'd start moving wherever you wish to go past that point. So it looks like the cell blocks at this point kind of end in a dead end, right? It does seem that the only direction you'd be able to go would be back the way you came.
Oh, we're not able to
the
take Junction F1.
Junction F1 is just out into space. It's a straight shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it went to Junction.
But Junction 8.
No, Junction F1 is separate
Um.
from. Yeah, it is. It is. According to this, and then the Junction F8 as well, that one does not appear to connect to anything either. I lied to you, and I am a horrible
Damn.
friend.
Okay, so
'Cause
there's Junction.
It is the opposite side. So that's,
Yeah.
would be weird.
Yeah, there's Junction J6 up top, and then we could also just go westward. But there's one.
We need to get this
there's
door
probably
open,
one at
right?
the infirmary.
Do we need to get a door open?
Do you see?
No.
Do you see the section of the map called Shoot?
Yeah.
That is where the spindle is located, the one that goes all the way through. So the chute is present on B or A, B, C, D, E, F, and also G. You can see it says chute. And that's basically the way up and down deck to deck.
Oh, okay. No, that's weird.
Yeah, I misread it on the first pass, so I apologize.
We should. I mean, I know we're not really caring why, but we should probably see why the plasma vents aren't working.
Yeah.
Because last thing we want is the whole thing to fucking ignite. Well, us in here.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way back through this space, all the way to the end, and then make your way through the kind of narrow corridor. When you get to the end of the narrow corridor, you'll notice that there's a very small path that leads to a twin door, or basically a divide airlock. So you'd enter into the first door, the door behind you would shut, and then the next door would open. And that's the only way it will operate, is one group at a time, moving through in that way. This is what most people on a space station would know, is a situation where if one section becomes compromised, you can break it off and just let it fucking go from the command deck. And then there looks like there's a path that leads off to the right. Both paths, from what you can tell of the doors, it looks like there is heat present. You can kind of see heat waves through the kind of glass space. but you will not be able to kind of create a full vacuum because of the way the double doors kind of work. You can see it more prominently here, how the doors kind of work. It's like door and then door, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing is silly and a goober. I get it now. It does go down to G,
So I was thinking.
but it is shut. I understand now.
Can
But
we unshut it, aka open?
no. Wait,
I know what that meant.
no. I just double checked it to be sure. No. Sorry.
It's fine.
Okay. So again, you'd be kind of here-ish, and again, Leon is kind of in control of movement unless you folks break up, split the party, which again is an option, always an option. But yeah.
Do we know what that is the inmate infirmary, that corridor?
So you kind of have like an understanding of the ship's map due to your ability to kind of pull that on your data tabs back on base or back on your ship. So you kind of have it available to you on a heads-up display if you wanted to.
I'd probably say, do we want to check this infirmary? It should be over here, to see if there's anyone left potentially.
Definitely, and if not, we should definitely gather some medical supplies because I don't think that anybody's going to be coming back here. If this heat is such a problem, it's probably going to be too dangerous to just leave all of their medical supplies in the infirmary.
It's a good call. Anyone object?
Nope.
Let's move forward.
Okay. You enter into the space. There is a ladder system kind of in the middle of the entryway when you kind of come out to it. It appears to descend down. This, you would note too, has a few passageways. It looks like there is a door that has a window through it that leads to what appear to be like an infirmary. There's a larger infirmary through the window on the left when you enter here. And then to the right, you would see that there appears to be a airlock opposite you in the deck-in.
Well,
All of these doors can be maneuvered open. Again, there's no power to the station, which I need to keep putting out there. So when you breached through the locks, it was manually done, but easy enough. The emergency locks are present, but they have not been. It hasn't been put on lockdown. The station hasn't been put on lockdown. That's the terminology I was looking for.
While they're looking at the infirmary, can I go look at Bay 2?
Yeah, absolutely. I love separating the group. It's my favorite. Anybody going with Raditz?
I would probably go with Raditz for one reason, to get out of close quarters with Jim and John.
Okay.
Whoa, crazy.
So what you'll notice inside of Bay 2, and once you kind of get to the infirmaries, is that there are these very bright white lights that seem to be kind of hovering in the air in different spaces. And it seems that everything they touch just starts burning. They are not moving like crazy fast or anything. They're just kind of orbs that are floating and kind of pulsing. But as they kind of float inside of the infirmary, the fire is very prominently present therein. Raditz, when you get to the bay, it too is kind of just filled with fire. But you would see across the way, this is basically a station where, craft would be kind of relinquished out, escape pods primarily. It looks like the escape pods have already been flown, but you can see that there is a control panel, and if you'd like, you could make a heavy machinery roll. Oh, sorry, no, the pods didn't get out. They're still there. They're just burnt to shit. EVA pods, but they are unusable. If you'd like, you can try and repair them, but the main thing is it does look like the control panel can be utilized to open the doors.
My bad.
I assume we all have comms.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, just to let y'all know, I'm opening the doors for Bay 2 to get some of this fire out of here. And then I would like to try to open the doors.
Sure. Yeah, success. Not a lot of work, but then the pressure would drop and we'd enter into a vacuum state throughout this entire space. It seems that the doors for the infirmary are not sufficient in preventing that. However, they do kind of bar things from moving through them, but they don't appear to be airlocked doors. Okay.
And the orbs, when out the doors open, do they fly out or they just extinguish?
Great question. They vanish from sight. Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to be kind of, while everything else is going on, looking around for any kinds of written notes or anything potentially around that maybe doctors or anyone would have left here.
Yeah, unfortunately, not much in the way of that. There are some individuals who are present here that look like they suffered greatly in their burning. Like parts of them seem to have been seared clean off. But for the most part, and there's also even an android present here that looks like it's been kind of melted. It almost looks like a candle that was in the shape of a human that was basically melted from the top down. Very, very gross. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything note-wise present here.
Oh, and do the pods launch out whenever the vacuum activates too, or no?
No, they're charred as shit. Like they don't look like they're there's the Evo pods. You have to actually like launch them. So you have to pilot them.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I mean, it looks like you could potentially repair them, but they are burnt quite extensively. So it would definitely take it would be a roll to try and fix them. And then a quick note on that too: Evo pods can be used to pilot you around the space station externally a bit quicker than you'd be able to do on like your, Evo walk. Yeah.
Do we want to come together and fix up one of these things and take a cruise?
Oh, everyone's not going to be able to fit in one. Only one person would be able to fit in each. There's two of them.
Do we want to fix one up and send someone out to take a cruise?
You can try it. Well, I don't think it's really that great of an idea, to be honest, because, if the person goes out, they might, not be the best at piloting and crash in somewhere else, and then we're in a whole different kind of fuck.
I think we could potentially try to repair one, but I'm not on board with someone going alone. If anything, it would only be for an emergency situation at this point.
Okay.
Okay. So then if you head back to the main hub,
What's the emergency station for? Like, what
great
does that
question.
entail?
You want to go over there and check it out?
Yes.
Sure. So an emergency station have 4 Eco 2 EVA suits, 2 ASSO 400 harpoon guns, and 2 spools of 100-meter line.
I feel like these harpoon guns in the line might be useful.
Yeah.
Once you
Can we,
I
enter,
don't know how to use either.
once you enter into that causeway, and kind of look to the north, you can see that the causeway kind of goes out towards the spindle, the main connective tether to the rest of the station. It appears that what you can, from what you can tell, this lock here is a 0G space. So effectively, you would be entering into what is kind of like a tether, although it's like a perma tether. That makes sense?
Yeah. Is there anything else in this little room area besides just the emergency station and the doors?
Yeah, great question. So there is a comm station, I believe I forget what they're called, intercom. It looks like it could potentially be used to call out to different locations. It's not damaged, just a bit hot, and again, you wouldn't know where to call or what to call. Um, and then, and based on your reception with the androids, but
Yeah, I would want to call anyways.
for sure, for sure. And then the other spot is a medical kit.
Definitely
Somebody
grab
else
the medical
wants to
kit.
carry one. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm at my capacity for carrying things.
Do you wish to make your way across the causeway, or do you wish to check the other way?
I'd like to check the other wing. I tried to move myself there, but I couldn't.
No worries. Anybody deferring?
I'm going to go wherever Jimmy Joe goes.
Okay. What about you, Cap?
Oh no, yeah, I was saying I'm on board.
You're going for the causeway, or are you going for the west wing?
No, the west wing.
Okay.
I want to inspect the 2 sides before we head
I
forward.
would go towards the west wing also.
Okay. So you open the doors as normal, and you make your way into this space. The heat is less prominent here, but what you're noticing is those lights are very much kind of visible. It's almost as if it's like a flickering of lights, kind of just in and around your field of vision. You're not quite sure what it is or what it's doing. It's annoying.
Are these those like sentient lights, or is this just the light pattern?
So, from what you can tell, they appear to be kind of flickering lights that occasionally kind of move around and near you. Yeah.
I'm gonna start describing them in my notes on my little data pad. Because this is one of the things that we were told about and nobody knows about.
There's definitely a lot of them in this passageway, specifically the passageway that leads to the kind of north there.
Can I make an observation roll on them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Oh. Sorry.
So, what you're noticing is that these littler ones, unlike the ones that you saw back in the infirmary that got snuffed out when the airlock got blown, these don't appear to have like a very massive kind of plasma growth to them. They appear to be just small little plasma morphs that are kind of just in the air floating about. There are more of them here than there were in the infirmary. It's just that they are not a massive grand fireball or ball lightning of plasma that's just kind of moving through shit, burning it. You would also note that your suit's inborn Geiger counters are kind of slowly clicking at this point. And they would have been clicking pretty heavily, I forgot to mention, back in the infirmary.
It might be a good idea to repeat what we did in Bay 2, but in Bay 1. Just to kind of get them out.
Go for it. They're gonna do that. We'll do the same thing. Kind of look around for anything noteworthy.
Okay. So you head down into the prison area? Is that what I'm hearing right, or no? You said you were going to go do the same thing that you did on the other side. I thought that's what I heard. Did I hear that wrong?
To get rid of the
Bay
light.
1.
Yeah, so the lights are kind of
Bay 1.
here.
Mhm.
I'll go ahead and put a notation there. To get them to go away, you would need to go through them.
To walk through them?
Yes.
Oh.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know if I want to touch them because they might set things on fire.
But I thought, we just pressurized the room to make them go away in the last room.
Yeah, you don't. You depressurize it. You don't have that option here unless you go to the prison area.
Yeah, we could go to the prison area and try to decompress over there and have them suck this way.
Yes. Correct.
But that's also another prison area, and it's not as hot here, so there's probably prisoners.
Okay.
Probably inmates.
Let's see.
If that's the plan, who has got the back of the group? Would it be Drabakowski or would it be one of you lot?
I would imagine Raditz would probably be at the back, because he was probably the last one leaving from the other area.
It seems like a group of about 2 or 3 of them are following you.
Okay.
It almost looks like it's intentional. Especially when you turn and look at them, they kind of stop like they've been caught.
Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but if I, after I turn and look at him, if I look away and look back up, did it look closer?
Yes.
I'm going to relay this to everyone over comms, like, hey, these things are definitely sentient, and they're following us. And if you're not looking at them, they move towards you.
We can, if you want to walk backwards, we can always guide you. Maybe they won't.
Verity can guide me, yes.
Yeah.
Can we try to capture one?
Do whatever you
Like,
want.
I'm sure in our bags, in our science bags, we have, a cup and a glass. Can I try to capture one in a cup?
Yeah, more than welcome to try that.
Single
Absolutely. Okay, so if that's the case, I need you to give me a. Let's see, what do I want from you?
Survival roll?
It's a cup handling roll. I'm trying to think what it would be.
Yeah, I put a lot of points in that one.
Let's go ahead and have
Does the cup have alcohol in it?
Because then I'm a pro.
Professional.
I'm gonna say we're gonna go ahead and just do close combat as you're trying to engage with it, snap it into the cup and close it. It's like a bee. You're like fighting a bee.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's a panic roll. Go ahead and roll roll a d6 and add 1.
Verity can guide me.
7.
Cool. Since my compendium is not working for some reason, can someone look up panic? I think I have it in here somewhere. God damn it.
Okay. Stress and panic. What do you need to see?
The chart. There's a chart.
Okay, so we have 7.
Yeah.
Nervous twitch. Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range view increases by 1.
Okay. So to explain the scene exactly how it goes, you kind of reach forward and you kind of like got the cup and you're kind of like, and you kind of close around it, and as you do, you see it move straight towards you, and you kind of and it hits you in the chest, and you drop the glass. Everyone kind of goes, "What the fuck?" And then the light vanishes, and the glass hits the ground, breaks, and you lose 1 jar. And I need you to make a sickness roll.
Sickness.
Down with the sickness.
We did all get a stress level too, right? For
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And I don't know how a sickness roll is rolled. So.
Oh, does everybody get one except for Jimmy Joe because he's my rival? He's not my friendly.
Everybody gets it.
Oh,
Did it say all friendly only on that?
I thought you said all
No,
friendly.
It just says any. It
Yeah.
just says any. Where is it? Oh yeah, all of your friendly PCs in short range of you increase like the stress increases by 1. So Jimmy Joe's good.
Yeah, all out.
He spits in his suit and he's like, fuck. It's like, God damn it.
Stupid scientists touching things.
Sickness roll. How do I make a sickness roll? Do you already know how? Gosh, I hope so.
No, but I can look.
Yeah.
What if
It is saying
Sickness
I
is
do
not
not
in
have
the compendium.
access. Hold on.
Sickness doesn't show up in the compendium apparently.
I'm checking.
Neither does sick.
Why the roll 20? I'm fucking mad right now, dude. I'm so mad. Let me have access to my goddamn compendium. I'm trying to run a game here. Why is I'm the only one who can't use it?
Capitalism, man.
Yeah, there's just so many blocks against using your books. It's annoying. I gave you a bunch of money. Why won't I get a bunch of their money? Can I just get the book? It still says it's a bad brew. I don't understand. I'm actually getting very, very livid about it. Bear with me here for a second, though. Let me try something. Same. So aggravating. Okay, so let me try and figure out the rules without a compendium. I don't even have the... I'm so sorry, folks. Proto-xenomorph.
you could tell me? I'm just infected now, and now I'll birth a queen. It's just how I wanted.
It says that the protoplasmomorphs must make a sickness roll against a.
Oh no! Stop looking
virulent-
it up! Stop looking it up! Oh God! You know too much. Why do they have access to that and I don't?
So on the Roll20 compendium at the bottom it says Nexus Compendium, and I clicked on that out of just pure curiosity, and I typed in sickness, and that was the first thing that popped up.
Oh, so
I
it's
was like, is this the rule?
oh, is it demi-planed?
Yeah.
Brent's
God damn
the DM now.
Okay, well, fine. You run the game.
Oh, he wins. He
Very
won the
sorry.
game, guys.
Radiptos too much. Kill them all.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
Cool.
He's taking the captain with him though.
So
Man,
Really try.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
I'm harpoon gunning you out. That's I'm getting blasted out of the airlock.
I'm not okay with that. That's my pal.
I'm just gonna keep shooting as I'm being told with you.
God
Damn you, Raditz!
damn it.
The
Okay.
ultimate double takedown.
So, who suffer direct exposure to must make a sickness roll. Okay, Google sickness roll in demi-plane. What is a sickness roll? I'm so sorry.
It's fine, seriously.
Oh, it is treated as a disease with virulence 6. Got it. Okay. For the purposes of this, I'm allowed to just say if you're infected or not.
Well,
I'm not going to answer that question out loud.
okay.
The orb hits you in the chest. It presumably just disappears against your chest plate on your Evo suit.
Did it hurt? Was it like with force?
You hear the Geiger counter like click up like super heavily, and then there's like a strange sensation of like tingling on your chest area. It's almost like your tits fell asleep. I don't know if that's something that happens. I know arms do.
Maybe,
Sorry, I'm
maybe
so sorry.
don't make aggressive moves against the sentient lights.
It definitely feels numb for a second, but then after a fashion, you're fine.
Yeah, I just was trying to catch one. I guess it didn't work out.
I mean, just think of it this way. Imagine some giant monstrosity came over to you and tried to put a bell jar over you without warning. Probably wouldn't like that.
After a few moments, though, you are able to bring her back on board with going to the prison area. And when you get about halfway through the hallway, you would note that the fire in this side of the block is much hotter and more prominent. If a thing could burn, it is burning, and there is a lot of fire present here. Your survival suits are doing fine in regulating your temperature, but it is becoming a bit more noticeable, the heat, once you kind of make it into this prison area. Who is going to be the lead or wants to move towards the airlock to try and secure it? Or are you all just running in there like crazies?
I will at least be moving forward to it.
Okay. So then
I'm
we'll
gonna be watching our back for more lights.
We'll
I'm
say
just
that-
the girl.
the captain is the one that goes in. Once you kind of rush in, you realize that you're going to have to move quickly, and you start kind of picking up the pace to get there. When you get to the cell lock, you would note that because the power's been down and because of the extensive heat, the paneling situation that would normally allow for you to very quickly and easily and deftly open the airlock is not currently active, and instead it requires a heavy machinery roll.
I yell. Jimmy Joe knows heavy machinery, right?
Okay, so let me try and make sure that this is a narrative kind of like situation, right? Leon, focused. I gotta get it. And you just kind of charge forward, and everyone's kind of with you or not, and you kind of bolt forward. And when you get there, you realize it's not going to be. It's not what you walked into. The situation is different. So you have two options. You can attempt the heavy machinery roll, and yell back for your friend, or you can yell back for your friend and be panicked at the situation and go ahead and go ahead and add 1 to your stress level.
No, I'll go ahead and attempt to do it while yelling back.
Okay.
Where the hell did it go? There it is.
No, it's dead.
Did that roll?
I don't see it.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. So that is a roll, but with a panic situation. Go ahead, roll me a d6 and add 3 to the number. And Lark, if you so kindly keep an eye on the chart.
Yep, I still got it up.
Gonna be a 6.
So 6 is, I believe that's under the radar for anything. You just kind of like,
Yep, you're keeping it together.
Okay. So you kind of like, in the situation, you kind of like yell over your shoulder, but then you kind of like focus up and realize now or never. You kind of grab the lever mechanism that kind of actuates the magnetic seals. Then you kind of move over to another position and pull the hydraulic lever, which causes the seals to pop. And then you just kind of put your metallic boot against it, turn off the magnets, and push. And you can hear a loud decompress. It kind of slams back for a second, and then you just push a little bit harder so that the door opens up and eventually drops into its slot. And then whoosh, everything kind of bursts out. Your left magnet foot holds on. You slam your right magnet foot down and hit the button to lock it back into place. And you stand there at the doorway as everything's kind of flushing out. Everyone else, whoosh, all of the lights kind of just disappear behind you. The flames go out inside of the cell block. And as before, the corrections office is double sealed, so it will require its own decompress, just like the infirmary did. But so far as to say, it looks like all of the fires except for the corrections office and the vent itself have been turned off.
Okay, well, let's head on back. Make sure everything's fine up on the corrections office.
Okay, you make your way back to the double door. This one does not have windows on it. It specifically has a keep out warning, authorized personnel only, on the door.
Apparently that ain't us.
Store?
That would be this door here.
Oh. Yes.
We have to find the blue key card.
Snake.
Oh, shit, I'm
Drabakowski has
stuck
been
outside.
sure. Drabakowski's been kind of, in the median. Drabakowski, you're not stuck outside. There's no walls. But you just keep moving yourself outside, you dork. But Drabakowski has been kind of keeping towards the median. I would like for the scientist and the doctor to make a observation roll. Dr. Lockhart, you are locked in on her, and you kind of have a stunt, and the only real available kind of situation here that I'm going to grant you is if she keeps doing this shit, you'll be kind of watching her like a hawk. And Raditz, you kind of notice that every chance she's gotten to, with the intercom, with the control panel back at the thing, she has been accessing it once everybody's kind of stepped away from her and has been looking into it in a comms tech kind of way. You don't know what she's looking for. You just notice that she keeps fucking around when everyone else is doing other stuff or kind of keeping away. And it seems like she's trying to do so in a kind of incognito fashion.
Right. I'm gonna try to keep a close eye on her, but not make it like super obvious.
Okay. And because you have that push, or the extra success is the stunt, basically whenever she starts doing it again, I will bring it up to you. You automatically catch her. Leon, you wish to enter into the corrections office?
Yep.
Okay.
Do the same thing we did from the last bay.
Yep. What is happening? Okay, there we go. Okay, so the door opens, sure enough. When you open it up, though, you would see that inside there are 4 corrections androids and a guy standing there. The guy raises his hand before the corrections androids kind of start moving towards you. And he says, "Hold." And then he looks at you and says, "Who are you? And what are you doing out there?"
I'm from the set arena that was supposed to be attached today. I'm the officer Leon from that ship. We just had to board the ship in an unconventional way due to some issues outside. But as we came in, we were seeing the issues going on here and starting to kind of investigate.
Warden Stike said that that might be a possibility, but what are you doing down here? You should have entered at a higher point. Why did you enter into the corrections facility?
Well, like I said, we had a little bit of piloting issues outside, so had to make a decision, and that's where we ended up.
You can call me Crash. Stand down, and then you would see that the 4 droids would kind of move off to the sides, and then he'd kind of gesture. You can step inside, close the door behind you. Are the lights still out there?
Not at this point, no, we took care of that.
Good. Do you all step in, or does anybody stay outside?
I'll step in.
Oh yeah, stepping in.
Yeah, I'll step in.
I'll step in with a ready, like, not pointing, not brandishing, but just holding the shotgun still.
I would ask you to leave your weapons, if you have any, here. If you wish to enter into the space, we are willing to treat with you. Because we do not know your motivations, we would rather you not be armed.
Sir, I'm a security officer.
You are in a prison.
We entered a prison.
You do understand that there is a obvious presumption of security present inside of this prison. You are not the security officer for this space station, are you not?
No. However,
Then relinquish your
I am
weapon.
the security.
And when he
Is
says
there a
relinquish,
chance that we could?
when he says then relinquish your weapon, he raises his hand like this and raises his finger, and the androids that kind of backed away kind of step in a little bit.
Is there any chance that we could possibly speak to the commanding security officer on the station?
Warden Sykes is
considering
present,
the-
but I will not allow you to speak with him if you are armed.
I don't trust this fucker in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, sorry. I just want to make sure you guys know what you're doing. I want to make sure that we're elucidating the situation. You're talking to Michael Fassbender, and
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this an
Hey.
android? I figured it was.
yeah, it is
David.
it is a yeah.
Also.
No. No.
I'll kind of look over at the other people. This I don't know what that means.
But it's Fassbender.
It's a spray
come
bottle.
on.
You know, when
So what? How do you roll for seduction in this game?
It's an
Right? That's what I'm saying. I think that's gotta be manipulation, right?
Maybe.
Could it be close combat? You know?
Oh
You're
my
looking-
god! Damn! Jesus!
New objective.
Holy
Teach a robot
shit!
to love.
She gonna go in on him like that fucking engineer did in Prometheus. Holy god! She's like, I want him so bad, I'm gonna rip him apart. Give me the white goo. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just cancel all my streams forever and ever, and never talk again.
You're welcome.
Do you relinquish your weapons to Crash or no?
I'm gonna put up my hands. I don't have any weapons.
Of course. I believe Leon
How are we relinquishing them?
points to a side area, and you can see that there's a place to kind of place them.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you
Let's do it.
for your cooperation. He would then enter on the western door and kind of go through and say, please wait there, and gestures for the galley area, which is apparently a cooking kingdom. It looks like a very immaculately set up kind of kitchen area, and yeah, very very nice space. Cabinets are packed with food. There are lots of ration packs and food scraps that are kind of present here.
To be fair, we
He goes to the back to talk to somebody, comes back, and then 2 human individuals would come out. You would see burpee burps. Copy image. Baby cat, you are bad cat. This individual, who Leon, you have met before, only once and very briefly. This is Warden Stikes, Douglas Stikes. Whether or not you're on a first name basis is up to you. I'll roll with what you got. And then the other individual is the chief cook of the station, one John Hobbs.
You don't need to hide it. That's
And Sykes would come out and say, "The Severina, Captain Hart, right?"
yeah. While you're
Yep, that's me.
help.
Lark, I'm getting Corey in the background, I think. Tell them to shut the fuck up. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He comes out and says, well, great. Then I guess we can get out of here. Awesome. You're here to rescue us, right? Is the ship attached to one of the cell blocks?
We are attached, yeah. However, we're not going to be able to get out of here super easy right away.
Why not?
We are very much attached, as in, I crashed the ship into it in order for us to avoid an incident.
Crash kind of looks over at the 2. That was what that disturbance was from earlier. I believe that they have been going around and unsealing the airlocks and the other modules, the other correction modules. You see Hobb kind of look at you guys and look at all the whole situation, just smiling, but also confused as to what the fuck's going on. But you see Stikes, when Crash says that, kind of places his hand on his head. Keep in mind, they're not in Evo suits. You all are. And he kind of places his hand on his head, and he's like, "Is the fire done? Did you get it all, or?"
You just breathe.
In the past couple hallways, I believe we did.
Did you make your way across the causeway?
No.
Okay, well, be careful going out there. Seems that Draconis's will is a bit more manifest out there.
Draconis's will?
Hobbs, smiling, kind of looks at you and says, "Yeah, the dragon will talk to you."
The dragon.
He looks over at
And
you.
in what
Yeah.
way?
That just weird stuff will happen. I haven't seen too much. Mostly just people being cooked and cut up, which was weird. But Boss said,
You mean the dragon.
you see Stikes kind of slam his fist against Hobbs' shoulder real quick in responses, like he was about to talk. I've seen some things. It's no big deal. It's just NDDs.
It's an NED.
Neural distortion disorders. It's when
So
large
I,
amounts of gravity or kind of situations kind of affect a human brain. Have you seen Event Horizon?
Don't recall.
Okay, well, there's another movie to add
I'm
to your
gonna
list of
take out
things to
my
watch.
data pad and write down some notes because seeing people being put on hooks is not a normal thing. And apparently, whatever the other guy saw was even less normal.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have shut the other guy up. And that's
Jimmy John's
concerning
gonna pipe
'cause-
up. I'm sorry. You finish that.
No,
Finish-
it's okay.
finish that.
Never mind, because this is internal thoughts. But I'm writing notes. I am doing my due diligence.
What did Jimmy Joe say?
Jimmy Joe's gonna say the dragon's here.
Hobb would say, "Yeah, talk to me."
What?
Yeah.
You're the dragon.
I'm not the dragon.
Okay.
The dragons talked to me.
What did oh
What did they say?
Oh. What
She
what
said
did they say?
she said to come to her. I didn't ask where she was.
Kid. I'll look at the doctor. And then look back at him and say, Kate, can you reach them right now?
No, it happened when we were getting into here in the first place. We'd come in through the causeway. We were. What were we doing? And he looks at Sykes, and Sykes says, "Nothing. We were just on the other side of the causeway. It's fine."
Well, maybe I would like to speak to the dragon.
Hop's like confused, smiling face kind of switches to one of confusion, and he says, "Oh, I mean, I guess you could go out to the causeway then." And then kind of bites
There's
his
no
teeth.
specific.
It happened for me. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen for you.
So what's going on here?
Huh? Sykes says, "We've had problems. The lights, people becoming infected. It's been very strange.
Right.
We've had the androids trying to secure the people inside of their cells. The burning has been, I don't know, beneficial or not. The lights have definitely been causing problems here and in other parts of the ship, or other parts of the station. And then there are parts of the station that seem to be kind of coming alive and twisting, and becoming
And so,
something else."
Was the infection mentioned on our debriefing?
No.
Trent.
Um.
Okay. You said that people are becoming infected.
Yeah, by the lights.
Infected with the. What are the symptoms?
Uh, well, we haven't really been paying attention to it.
Did your tits get numb?
Well, we're not infected. Again, we don't have any notes on anything. The doctors were saying that people were becoming infected, and then the prisoners kind of lashed out. And then there was. Sykes kind of looks over and says, "A group of them got bathed in those lights after a few of them kind of went insane. So I just I sent 67 of them out, and opened up the plasma vent and burned them all alive."
does it have to be skin to skin contact, or can they?
No, they're taking over the androids.
Including your friend here?
No, Crash is good. A part of his detachment was over on the Junction 8, I believe. And
We ran into them.
yeah, I don't know what they were doing.
But they can affect people too, right? Not just androids.
Yeah, maybe. Well, the people situation, that might be more related to. I don't know if it's related to the lights or not. The doctors had all the information. They're all dead. Okay? It's just me, Hob, Crash, and the crew. We've stayed in here. The lights haven't been able to make it in here yet. We've got weapons if, anybody else other than you was trying to come in here. And the androids, of course.
You said all the doctors are dead. Is that including Dr. Lark?
Dr. Lark's on your team.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought we just had like the 2 androids on the ship. No, we have Lark as well.
Lark is an android.
Oh, okay.
She's the second android.
Okay, never mind. I thought there was like somebody who was supposed to be a contact here or something.
Nah.
whatever. I'm getting fuzzy.
It's okay.
It's the NDDs, you know.
Yeah. Well, we haven't even gotten to those yet.
So is there anyone else alive that you know of, or is it really just you as far as you're...
We've tried to intercom with them, but last chance we got was a while ago. Kind of scratches his head. Maybe. And then Crash kind of says, we should just tell them. Okay. Yeah, so, fine. When I killed a bunch of the Roughnecks, a few of them took that as, not as kindly as I was hoping they would. They didn't seem to believe what we were trying to tell them regarding the infections. And long story short, there's a prisoner revolt somewhere in the station. I don't know where the fuck they're staying. I just know that they know better than to come out here.
That's
Okay.
good to know. It's very good to know.
And yeah, if you're really the crew of the Serahina, then they're kill on sight. Do what you want. But if you're not here to take us out, I'd prefer it if you would secure access to an escape method with your ship. FTL is required. We won't be able to leave this area without FTL due to the gravity. It's near impossible.
You want to let them know the bad news, Leon?
Yeah, so our batteries are completely drained at this point, and it's going to take some kind of industrial tool set out there to get the ship detached from where we're at.
Yeah, you should be able to find tools. I would say best place to look would probably be cargo bays. They probably have them there up on G or down on G. Yeah. If you're trying to get a recharge, the batteries have been falling apart here too. And Crash would say, the lights are draining the batteries. Try not to let them get near your battery system if possible. Probably too late already.
How do you stop them? How do you prevent them from going somewhere?
Well, fire can work. Sometimes it causes them to grow larger. They're not terribly fond of the vacuum of space. We haven't found any other methods to deal with them so far.
How long have these lights been a problem here?
They've been around for a while. Obviously longer than 3 months because they sent you information regarding them and that's why you're here. That's out of character. but
Oh.
Yeah. You're here because you're investigating the lights. They reported the lights. So it probably would be like, half a year at most, just what they're dealing with.
Would you say that they are more curious or predatory?
I mean, I'm not the guy to ask these questions to. I apologize. I haven't been paying attention to them. It's mostly been...
You're talking with scientists.
I understand. But I want to make sure you folks understand that's not... oh no, the lights are burning the infirmary. I wasn't like... It was more of a, oh my god, I'm going to die. I hope I don't die. And then I ran down the hallway, double sealed the locks, and then power got cut off. So I started doing it manually. Luckily, I had Hobbs here to help with that. And
how long ago did that happen?
I don't know. How many days have we been down here? We haven't had... All we've had is life support for however long it's been. I'm sorry, I don't know what day it is. I apologize if I'm coming off as rude, but you got to understand the measure of the questions you're asking. They don't make any sense. That with the visions as well? Forget about it, lady.
could write you a prescription, but I doubt you have the facilities to fill it.
Have you been over to the infirmary?
Yes.
So you understand. I'm pretty sure most of your medications don't have a request order of, burn at 5,500 degrees.
No, the storage is usually at ambient temperatures. Or lower.
We haven't had those for a while. Not as much of a sweatbox in here as it is out there, but, a bit warmer than I prefer. We're going to remain here, okay? Because you don't have an FTL engine with batteries. You don't have a way out. We're going to remain here. He hands you a radio. This device will help you communicate with me directly. It won't let you communicate with anybody else unless you want to switch systems and connect with another radio system. When you're ready to leave, contact us. You're over in Junction F8?
Yeah, that's correct.
We'll head that way once you're ready. But also, keep in mind, whatever is happening up there, we don't have a lot of information on it. The lights definitely cause problems, and the infection that they have up there, or wherever, down there, all over, it's like growing all over inside of the ship, okay? And it turns people into kind of like crazy psychopaths. And Hobbs like, you ever see like old zombie films? From like the 20th century?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, if you've ever seen any of those, it's like that. But like real and way weirder.
Definitely want to get to your med lab.
Yeah, if you want to get to our med lab, he kind of tries to tell you where it is, and would explain that it is the medical lab is located on
Deck C.
Yeah, it looks like it. And he says you just got to cross the chasm and start climbing.
Well, it sounds like either way we're going to have to deal with these lights to get the batteries back.
He kind of throws his hands up in the air.
I'm not as worried about the lights as I am loose prisoners getting in the way.
Finally, someone sounded
trying
smart.
to get to our ship.
Yeah, they're really riled up.
And you're just gonna leave us out there alone with them?
Oh, we're not going out there, ma'am. We're staying here. If you want to stay with us for the rest of time, you can, but we don't have like a shit ton of food. You've got a ship. If you've still got food on it, go lock yourselves in. Maybe a Weyland-Yutani, resource collection, trawler will be out sometime soon, maybe a year or two, and maybe we can survive till then. But we've already been doing a bit of fighting, and we're not really invested in doing any more.
We were given prison IDs, right?
Yeah.
Is there is there any way that you'd be able to up our access?
There's no power. He said.
Right.
What do you mean access, he says. If you can turn the power on, maybe. But right now, as it stands, just life support systems have been running. And unfortunately, we can't get an idea of how long they're going to be running. For all we know, they shut off in the next, 10, 15 minutes. And the oxygen you guys flooded out of the bays is... That's it. It's gone. You shot it out the door. But, again, if you got rid of the fires and you got rid of the, lights, great. Hopefully the prisoners aren't paying attention to this wing. Fires were keeping them out.
If we wanted to restore power to the facility, would there be a way to do that? Where would we go?
I'm a warden, ma'am. I am not an engineer. I would have no idea. My job is to make sure
engineers are focused.
Where
do they operate out of?
He kind of shakes his head and kind of thinks about it. And I think they're on decks. I think they're on like down decks below G, H through J. That's where all the
Fuck.
spaceshipy shit is.
Oh, there we go.
Boiler
Factory
room,
complex.
all that shit.
The boiler room is at the very bottom. Of
Yeah.
The ports it is. Okay.
I know that one of the plasma collectors is damaged, but that's the last report I got before everything just shut off.
Okay.
So best of luck to you. As I said, that radio will contact us directly. Just let us know when you're returning back to your ship over at Junction F8, and we'll make our way there. We're going to remain here, stay safe, and if we have any issues, anybody comes our way, we'll let you know. But you're not my guardsman, so there's no reason for you to come back if you don't want to. Me and my security droids should be fine. But yeah, we're not helping.
Is there any way we can get them to not attack us directly?
Who, the droids?
Yeah.
Oh, they won't attack you. I mean, you're just prisoners.
You're sure about that?
Yeah, they sent you and they said that you were going to have security, like, issuances, right? You got codes?
No.
There's no power.
There's no power. There's no
The
power.
droids
Your
have
other
power.
Your other droid detail, was not very kind.
It wasn't mine. It's the one that got taken over by the lights.
Ah.
Oh.
Was it one guy walking around, or one droid walking around with like a hand terminal?
Yes.
Yeah, those terminals aren't needed. They're only for direct override. I don't know how the thing figured it out, but yeah, they sure fucking did.
Right. Well, that solves that.
I mean, there might be one or two more of the devices out there. I don't know what Wayland Yutani had upstairs.
Can you provide some of these droids for our protection while we're out there, or?
Fuck no. But if you want something that'll help you outside and might not be as useful into here, he kind of walks back into the hallway and out from the galley and kind of walks into the kind of hallway that leads to the security armory. This is what we got. As he kind of opens up the spot, and whoever's there is with him, and you'd see that there's Kevlar vests, fully stocked, tear gas grenades, stun batons, ES4 and ES7 weaponry.
I'm definitely taking a stun baton.
The Wayland Yutani ES4 and the Wayland Yutani ES7. The ES7 is called the Supernova Electrostatic Shock Gun.
Kevlar riot vest. Is that the other one?
Kevlar vests. If there's no Kevlar vest, then yeah, riot vest, I presume. Yeah, riot vest. They would be riot vests. This is fucking riot control is what this would be. He says, take what you need. Obviously, it probably won't work on lights. But if you run afoul of any, prisoners, definitely give you a advantage. I don't think they have much in the way of weaponry other than what they've been able to kind of muster off of the walls and decks. There's not. I don't think there are too many guns up above. At least that's what I was told. Who knows? Again, the company is the company. My job was to maintain here and make sure that if a riot happened, me and my droids fucked them up. And, well, I did that, and some of them got away. So, if you're going to handle it, you're going to handle it. I don't know where they're at. Go ahead.
Take the ES4.
Okay, you have an ES4, just add it to your sheet. You guys can use Compendium. I can't. Sorry, I'm in bitchy mood because I'm still playing Award.
Well, I think we should hit up. We should definitely check out the med lab to see if maybe there's something there. We can check out their life support system if it's on the way as well to see how long it's gonna last. So if it does come down to a oh shit situation, we know what we have. I would also like to hit their science station just to see maybe they have I'm assuming since the lights have been a prominent problem, there might be some notes.
Wait, he says, hold on a second. Did you get into the lights?
No. They followed us for a little bit till we opened the thing and then they disappeared.
Nobody got hit by any lights or touched by them or engulfed by them?
Why?
It's like a radiation thing. It's like a contamination. Again, it might mess with your systems. Not like your physical ones, like whatever you're wearing and whatnot. So your air might stop pumping. Did you get hit by it?
No.
Okay.
But any other information you have?
Well, yeah, I mean,
No.
we can decon the radiation if you guys get hit by it. So if the lights hit you, just let us know. There's decon stations here. There's one right next door, and then there's one across the way in the infirmary.
Get over the decon station. Now.
Huh?
I just want to just show me how this works so we know for future.
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and run you through it so that, like, if you end up on the other one, I think there might be some more on the station, but yeah, most of it's for the radiation. And yeah, you kind of step into the space. He kind of shuts the door on you. There's a a personal airlock that allows you to exit the space if you wanted to, like if you get locked in here. But it's something that requires a bit of activation. It's like what Leon did, but not on fire.
Okay.
But not while on fire. And so then they run like it through the decontamination process, which doesn't require like a lot of power, and it runs on the life support structures. Basically, it's an alteration of the airflow and a kind of like a hyper focus on kind of bombarding you with oxygen and I don't know what the name of the particles are, but basically to kind of like rub off the radiation. And after about 10 minutes, they kind of, end it. And yeah, you don't feel any different.
Did I feel anything while it was happening?
No. Like, you were standing inside of a space that was basically blowing air on your suit.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, did you take your suit off for the decontamination process? Because he would say, normally you'd have to take off your suit for the decontamination process.
But okay, I'd take off my suit.
Yeah, and then they run you through it. So you'd feel like a whole bunch of air blowing on you, and that's it. Like it would just feel like you were inside of like a, like the drying section of a car wash.
No.
And then after everything's done, he says, "Yep, that's how it goes. It's about 10 minutes, and you're good." And then do you pop back into your suit?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're automatically going to lose one of your air slots because of the kind of dropping all the air that was in it and then kind of reactuating your suit. Everyone else, I need you to roll a d6 for air. And if you roll a 6, because you're currently on 6, then that means you will also lose an air due to heavy breathing, running around, etc. Missing one more.
They said they'd be right back. I don't know if they're back yet. Oh, no, they are.
Oh, okay. Roll a d6.
Yep.
Okay, so you're all good on air except for Verity, you're down 1, so your error is now 5 instead of 6. Okay. On that though, he says, "Get in contact us when you're ready to go. We'll be here. Take what you want out of the armory. Totally fine." And then kind of gestures for you to kind of get to whatever you're going to do. Just get the FTL back online. And Hob will say before you all leave, "Yeah, don't listen to the dragon."
Yeah, definitely,
Hmm.
definitely not.
Can I sacrifice one of my med kits to leave them with some anti-psych meds?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm okay with that.
I'm gonna prescribe this to you. Take them every so and so hours. I am now down to 3 of those med kits, but
They kind of shrug and go,
maybe they need them.
"Thanks, Doc."
Yeah. Try not to respond to this dragon if it talks to you again.
Well, we're not going into the causeway. We're fine.
Uh-huh. Causeway is inhabited by dragons.
Okay. So you guys going into the causeway?
Well,
Yep.
once we leave their vicinity, I wanna have a little chat
Okay.
with the group. So we're away from them now.
Yeah, you're basically moving through the hallway to the emergency station in the causeway's lower half.
So I'll say, all right. So the dragon. Are any of you well read enough to have read Space Beast?
I'm well read, just
I focus more on medical journals and scientific journals.
Well, that's fair. All right. Well, journals. Do you know Giannis Rude's journals?
I don't believe I'm familiar with that.
All right. Well, the whole thing, right? This book was centered around the dragons, or the dragon, right? There's a sect that believes that there's something called the dragon, and it awaits to enact the dark god's judgment on us. So whatever he's either psychotic. Well, I'm skeptical myself of it being a thing, but at the same time, I think we should be very careful going into the causeway.
I agree with that. It also, I'm not sure if I believe in this dragon quite yet as a real thing, because it does seem like they've all had different experiences, and it, to me, when you don't have a shared experience in these things, it suggests more along the lines of these are being plucked from their consciousness. So you seem to be well read on that theory, and now you are influenced by this person speaking about the dragon as well. If you start hearing things about the dragon, and I mean, all of us are now kind of influenced in that manner, but you would know the most. You would probably be able to come up with the most detailed vision and or hallucination. Just, I think we all need to be open about what we experience.
Right.
If we have shared experiences, that's one thing, but if we're all in our own individual heads, that's completely different.
I know he mentioned these are radiation-based life forms, but that's not my area of expertise. But
yeah, that's a fair assessment.
They may be related to the dragon. So we probably, and he looks to fucking shit. Where's your name? Verity. And says, "Don't fucking try to catch them anymore, and just keep clear of them if we can." Right?
yeah.
if they're sentient, then they probably have an objective. Sentience is going to have a higher organization. They may want something, and knowing what they want might help us understand how to avoid falling into these situations. But we don't have that information yet.
What is that buzzing? I'm confused. Okay, so solid. Are we going through the causeway? Yay!
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Do we want to drop by the emergency station and grab those suits and bring them to those people in the, like, what is that? The corrections area? Just in case they need them, because they won't be able to get to them otherwise, because we kind of, like, depressurized all of this area.
Yeah, if you want to reseal it, but you still need to kill the last fire, which is the plasma vent side.
Yeah, I was talking about the emergency station had, like, 3 Evo suits.
Oh, yeah, sure. Gotcha. Yeah, grab those, toss to
If we
them.
wanted to just, toss those to them so that they have a way of exiting that area if they need to.
Okay. All right, and after that, we're then making our way across the causeway.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Who's going first? Leon the Brave?
I was gonna say, actually, if Jimmy Joe, you seem to know something about this. Not saying there's anything actually going on or I'm buying into it, this dragon, but would you want to lead the way? I'll be right behind you then.
Yeah, all right, whatever.
All right. So, as this is our first NDD roll, but certainly not our last, you would enter into the causeway. Causeway is very much like a structurally sound umbilical. So there's lookout points outward, like there's a lot of glass kind of structuring here. You can kind of see out into the surroundings of Erebos a bit more kind of soundly than anywhere else you've been so far in the station. It's like you're out there, man. The spinning red, hot, and orange kind of glow of the accretion disk, and then you're looking straight down into what appears to be the barrel of that spin, the complete and absolute blackness and darkness and nothing that is the void of the black hole of 26 Draconis. In this space, you feel overwhelmed. Gravity is everything but nothing at the same time. Time is present but gone in this moment. I need you to roll me a d6, and for each time we roll an NDD roll moving forward, you will add 1. So this will be the very first roll for you, John. And then every roll past this point, you'll be adding an additional 1. Are these rolls? What are these rolls here? Is that what we just rolled?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
That was
So
the
the
oxygen.
air suit.
Oh, that was the oxygen. That was the oxygen. We need more. We need more d6 rolls.
Everybody roll on, I assume.
Yeah, you're going to be moving through for sure.
So what is this roll for? I'm sorry, you said.
Neurological
NDD.
distortion disorders.
Gotcha. All right.
We were in the front.
About that.
All right. So Jimmy Joe, you kind of like shotgun in hand. Everybody kind of gets braced inside of the emergency station, kind of lower cell. And as you're kind of looking at each other, you're like, okay. And Jimmy Joe's like, I'm going to go first. Pops open the zero gravity space and enters into the causeway and starts floating using the guidelines to kind of pull yourself across. You look down, you see it, and something about the way it spins and the way you're looking at it reminds you of like the drawings and the pictures you saw in a lot of the journals and also in Space Beast of the dragon. your head feels really weird. Like there's a very strange sensation of pressure, but there's also like a sensation of like discombobulation that kind of hits you for a bit. And you kind of take it in stride, but you're able to kind of keep pace and keep moving, and there's no effect to you. Leon, you kind of look at the group and kind of realize you're going next, so you grab out, you've got your new pistol, and you're kind of pulling yourself along the causeway. Very similar effect kind of happens to you. You see the blackness of space. You've been close to this black hole a couple of times in the past, but this is definitely the closest you've ever looked down it, and it's definitely a new experience for you. Similarly, your head feels weird, but you're able to pull yourself across. Everyone, likewise, gets across just fine, with the exception of Lark, your character. Dr. Lockhart starts making her way across, and in the middle of it all, you feel like someone or something on board the Erebos is watching you. You feel like you're being looked at right now. And as you kind of like look around in a panic, eyes fluttering and flashing, your vision goes black. For whoever's behind Dr. Lockhart, you see her just kind of pass out mid-flight in 0G. In this very quick flash of sight, you see a vision. Darkness. But darkness that squirms. Darkness that moves. Darkness that pulsates. And from it, you see a figure rise up out of the black and look at you. When you regain consciousness, whoever has got a hold of you, whoever was behind you, who would it be?
I don't know, whoever is like second to last.
It would probably be me. I
That
would
makes
want to
sense.
walk class.
Yeah, you're kind of like dealing with the weird headache, situation. Then you see her kind of like pass out mid-flight, and you kind of rush over to her and kind of start shaking the Evo suit, kind of tapping your glass against it and yelling as loud as you can into the speakers and hoping sound gets through as well. And eventually, you wake up looking up at Dr. Cast, and you feel like maybe she's part of it. So you now have the trait that says, it's called paranoia. You're convinced that someone or something on board of the ship is out to get you. What that might be is entirely your roleplay and your prerogative. But you do need to play a paranoid character now for moving forward. The effect lasts until you leave the system. Should be roleplayed according to your role-playing strength.
Fantastic.
Um,
I love playing paranoid characters.
but yeah, she kind of looks at you concerned and confused. And I think that's a pretty good stopping point for the session. We got about 5 minutes left, but we'll go ahead and end it a little early because that's a pretty good point. I would say that the only thing we can do is just to kind of wrap it up. You make it to the chute, passageway up and down, looks like it's clear as far as you can see. And then you're able to kind of move over and pull the vent system to kind of stop the fire and cause the vent to kind of actually do its job. And the flames on the correction modules are no longer present. Okay. Thanks for watching those that did. We'll pick up next week with session 2 as we continue into the Heart of Darkness.
Heck yeah.